Now, we always should be carrying our gun everywhere in public, but there's one particular place we should always be carrying our gun as husbands and fathers, and that's what today's video is about. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. My name's Chad, and this is the Hopeful Homestead. And in today's video, I wanted to discuss the one place we need to always carry our firearm as a husband, as a father, as a protector of your family. What's that one place that you just cannot forget and leave it at home? And I know what a lot of you are saying. You carry your gun all the time. It's not even a question. And I agree, I do the same. Anywhere I can legally carry a firearm, I am doing it, even in my own home, as you should be. But there's one particular place that the threat level is, in my opinion, higher than most other places. And let's think about it. Where can you take your family that is a large gathering of people, problem number one, and is a place where people meet regularly so threats can be aware of where to go and when people will be there, and is a place that talks about controversial topics and pushes a narrative that challenges what evil stands for? And you probably guessed it right by now, that place is church. Some people might think on a surface level that that's kind of counterproductive or contradictory. How on earth could you carry a gun into church? That's a place that is holy. Are you actually a man of God? Do you not have faith in the Lord that He'll protect you at all times? And here's what I say. God gave me a brain. He gave me the duty as a husband and a father to use that brain and to use discernment, intelligence, and awareness. When you actually pay attention to all those things, you become pretty aware that most of the mass shootings that have been happening in the past few years in America have been at churches. A lot of these mass shooters are writing things on their guns and on their ammunition that are flat out openly challenging the authority of God, openly challenging who Christ is. And evil is not being so sly anymore. It's not being quite as cute and hiding in the shadows and trying to trick you. It still has those tactics, but recently, for whatever reason, just look at the Charlie Kirk shooting, look at all these other mass shootings that have been happening, and you don't have to look far to realize that evil is knocking on our door from a lot more perspectives and a lot more areas of life than it used to. So absolutely, you can bet your butt I'm carrying my gun into church, because I'm not planning to use it to harm anyone. Obviously, I'm not bringing a gun to do evil with it or to do wrong with it. But in a place where thousands of people are gathering on Sunday morning, a predictable time where an assailant can know people who he doesn't agree with will be at a particular time and day, all gathered together with limited exits. I mean, it's a perfect scenario for someone who wants to shoot up a place. So I typically sit with my wife in the back, in the elevated section of the church, so I have the elevated point of view looking down. If an intruder comes in with a gun, he'll be coming in through one of the side entrances and be walking around, and I will see that from an elevated position, and I'll have some leg to stand on from a defense standpoint to where I can pull out my pistol and have a fighting chance. Now, in a crowded gathering like that, I'm not going to be taking my gun out and just firing willy-nilly and taking out innocent bystanders in the process. My gun will be used if I am within a reasonable distance that I feel confident in hitting a target. But for the most part, I'm going to be fleeing with my wife to get her the heck out of there and to go get our kids from children's church and get out of the building, off the premises. So in a scenario like that, at church, bring your gun, be prepared. Next few weekends of going on Sunday, take note of where the exits are. Take note of your exit routes. Take note of what bottlenecks there will be for crowds of people to be jamming up. How can you ensure that you can get your family out of there quick enough in a situation that you need to? Because, as I've said before, church is now becoming a target for those evildoers out there. So definitely don't go into church without your gun. But all right, that's been another episode of Coffee Talk. Thanks for watching if you did all the way through. Also, real quick, I've been getting a lot of comments recently about my hat. I think everybody's thinking that I'm wearing it backwards. And I'm not. You can see I'm not wearing this hat backwards. It is a pretty symmetrical hat. That is a cowboy hat. It's a Cody James hat I got in Dallas, Texas when I was out there with my wife a couple of years ago. And it's a big, wide, flat brim hat. And I got it for the purpose of actually doing work out on my property here when I'm cutting grass, building fencing, doing all sorts of stuff out there. I got tired of my neck and shoulders getting burnt in the sun, and I thought to myself, hey, I've never had a cowboy hat before. Now I understand why they wear them. So I picked one up, and it's been really good for me. And I have since replaced the band with something else that I found. I've reshaped it. I heated it up with a heat gun, reshaped the brim a little bit, and used a blowtorch to rough it up a little bit, give it a little bit more of a weathered look. And it stiffened it up quite a bit too, which actually works pretty well for being out here doing some work. But yeah, it's not backwards. Yes, when I sit here like this and look at the camera, it looks like I'm wearing a weird shaped hat. That's because the lens on my camera is an ultra wide lens, and it distorts things. The closer I get, the worse this hat will look. Further away I get, the more normal it looks, right? Like it's not messed up. So anybody, I literally got like 5 comments last week from people that are like, your hat's backwards. I assure you it's not. It is definitely my hat, and it is definitely not backwards. But all right, enough ranting about the hat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Carry your gun to church always, fellas, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.